Howdy Planet Coaster 2 friends. Today we're taking on a fun little challenge, trying to fit in 3 brand new rides into a tight space to bring our kids zone to life. I'm Gemma and welcome back to our 50 by 50 Wild West Park in Planet Coaster 2. This is episode 5 of our 12-part series where I'm building a fully detailed Wild West world, one ride at a time. So let's dive in. So we're starting off this episode by building a junior coaster, and as you can see, it's not actually in our Wild West Park, and this is in a blank map. And the reason for that was because I wanted to see if I could build a junior coaster based on something that is actually existing in the world. So I was looking about for some reference images, and locally to me is a amusement park, which is in Aberdeen. It's called Carousel. It's actually a family-run amusement park. It was built in the 1970s, and it is as janky as it comes. No offense to people who absolutely love Caronas, but it's just one of those kind of, places that definitely does not have a high budget. It's family run. It obviously makes quite a lot of money, and it's been open since the 70s. But one of the coasters there, but they actually had 2 coasters, I believe, maybe 3 in its lifetime since the 70s. But one of them that always I remembered going on as a child was the Apple coaster, which is maybe something that if you are in Britain or maybe you've went to these kind of lower budget theme parks that you may have been on. And it's essentially this really small junior coaster that you go through kind of a figure of 8. There's a massive apple. It's themed like a caterpillar kind of ride, and you go through this hollow apple. You maybe do like 2 or 3 actual loops of the coaster, comes back in the station, and it's just like a really fun, pleasant ride, especially if you've got younger kids, and it could be essentially like their first roller coaster. So I thought that'd be quite a nice little throwback to something that I've personally went on, and also because it's our first roller coaster for the park, I just thought a junior coaster would be a really nice fit. And it's also because I am not a very good coaster builder, let's be honest. I have definitely improved. I will say that for sure. Doing the career mode definitely does help out your coaster skills and really makes you think about how coasters work and where the momentum is coming from and where you have to give it a little bit more of a push and all that stuff. So I am getting better, and I really do enjoy building coasters, but I'm definitely not one of these like coaster fanatics that would be able to tell you why the friction has to be a certain way, or just the coaster jargon that you would expect from other coaster enthusiasts, and that's just definitely not me. I'm definitely more of a builder. I can take reference images and build something to me that looks pretty good, and hopefully it kind of represents what I want out of it. So that's essentially what I'm doing just now. So you can see that I'm just doing it bit by bit. We have put the coaster track in, and now what we're doing is just lining up the fence around it just for a bit of safety. This is nothing fancy, nothing special, but you can see that I'm trying to do custom supports as well, which it might be a bit of a crazy thing to do, but I actually think it looks actually really good once it all comes together. So I'm really happy with the way that it's actually turned out. And as I say, this is supposed to be a family-run park, not necessarily in my Wild West Park. I feel like there's a bit more of a budget behind that park, but especially for Cadonas, it's definitely family run, and it's the rides aren't like mega themed or anything like that. So that's essentially what we're trying to recreate here. So I'm just lining up one side. I've done the other side, and I'm just lining everything up. I'm using the brick as a guide as well, just because I am such a perfectionist when it comes to building, which is really great with the new tools in Planet Coaster 2, because it really does help you out with like snapping things together and stuff. So there we go. That's the custom structure that we are building and putting in place as well, which is actually really fantastic, because once I have the actual structure put together, you'll see that I go back into editing the coaster, and that's a really good thing to have these like structures in place, because then I can just tweak the coaster so it actually sits on top of it. There's some of it that is a little bit questionable, but again, I'm basing this on reference pictures and I can only see a certain amount. So maybe things aren't absolutely perfect, but as I said before, I'm not like, there we go there. I'm tweaking it. As you can see, I'm just lining things up. But as I said, I'm definitely not like a coaster builder enthusiast. So if someone looks at this thinking, oh, the structure of that definitely wouldn't work, then I would take that on board. But let's be honest, I'm not going to change it, because to me it just looks good. And at the end of the day, as long as I'm enjoying what I'm building, that's the main thing here. So I'm trying my best, and I think it does look good. So we're just moving up these supports as well, so they actually sit underneath the track, so it makes a little bit more sense. This bit was like really fiddly to try and like figure out where everything should go. So I'm now going to actually pick this up, blueprint it, and move it into the Wild West Park so you guys can have a better idea of where it's going to fit. So let's jump into there. Okay, here we are. So this is where it's situated. You can see it's beside our twister ride over there. And I've also put in the back here, you can see that if I just zoom in a little bit, you can see I've got the tiny eye and there's also a carousel. So I'll just take you guys down here. You'll see that I do have the rocks, which are getting ripped out. Don't worry about that. And yeah, this is going to be our little kids zone. So it's really, really tight knit. And you can see the train go by there as well, which is looking really good. So as a parent, I thought the one thing that this area really needs is to have lots of benches. So you can see that I've put in as much benches as I possibly could. So, if the kids are on the ride, you can definitely see them from both areas, and you can just sit back and relax. So this is the area that we're working with. It is really, really small, as you can see here. So yeah, it's actually at the back of the park as well. So we are really close to the boundary, and we're going to work on our coaster station next. So as you can see, I have opened up the park and there's lots of people waiting to queue up for this ride. It is so popular. I can understand why it's popular, because it is the only roller coaster that we currently have in the park, and it's the only one that is open. I mean, I say there's only one coaster in this park. There's actually another coaster that I've been working on as well, but that one's not open and I won't showcase it off. But for those who have a keen eye, you'll be able to see it in the background. And also, if you've came to any of my live streams, you will definitely have seen it, because I've been in this park so many times. It's not really much of a surprise. But yeah, here we are building the coaster station. And now I wanted this to feel quite like authentic. I wanted there to be, this really heavy duty, like the kind of the material that this is made out of, that would just make that crunching sound when you like stand on it. That's the vibe that I was trying to go for. And then I'm just trying to cover up the little ride operation hut kind of thing here. So I wanted to originally think, okay, how do I like kind of throw a box around this? And I wanted it to be kind of less pieces as well, because I just thought if I do individual planks, it's going to take so much of the piece count up, and it just doesn't necessarily have to be like that. So I'm kind of like fiddling about trying to make sure this looks like it's one unified piece. And then I thought, why not just expand it? Because I feel like, yes, the ride operation things are, it's perfect size for what it is. But I kind of like this idea that, there could be like a couple of people working in here. And although I don't think that they should be having their breaks in here, we do have staff rooms for that and staff facilities for that. I like the idea that there's going to be enough space in here that they have like maybe a tea and coffee facility, or they've got a fridge that they can have like a little snack and stuff, just because it's quite far away from the staff facilities. So yeah, I just wanted to expand on this room a little bit. So you kind of have like the main ride operation section, and then there might be like a couple of chairs in there. So if someone is coming over to, switch over the ride attendants, and there's plenty of room for them to like wait. And yeah, I think it just looks a lot better to like expand on this building here. So the theming of this ride, as I said, it has taken inspiration from the ride which is in Cadonas. And as I said before, this park is definitely more of a theme park than like an amusement park. But there's kind of areas of it that I just want it to kind of feel a little bit kind of run down. Kind of run down. I do want the park to feel like clean, but also I want there to be like a little bit of like a grungy kind of storytelling aspect to it. So you might see in the background that there is like flowers on the actual ride, and well, the framing of the ride. And that is because when I originally was building the Caterpillar ride, I was looking at what kind of like generic theming that we could have for the Caterpillar ride. And I really love this idea that when they bought this ride for the Wild West Park, which we actually do have a name of it, that they bought this ride, it was the Caterpillar ride, and they stripped it all back. But there's some parts of it which were still part of the Caterpillar ride. So you'll see that there is flowers that are in the queue line. And I just really love that idea of, you don't know why there's flowers there. It doesn't really make sense for it to have flowers, because it's kind of more of a Western re-themed ride. But I love the idea of, yeah, it's just got parts of it that they've bought this coaster, stripped it back, are trying to like make it more Western themed, and we do add like some kind of Western clutter into it as well, and also the what's it called? What's the thing that we just built? The ride hut. The ride hut. I go away and kind of do a little mural onto that as well. So yeah, here's the very bare minimum design, and you can see the flowers in the background there. Yes, the ride hut that I was talking about. So here I just thought it'd be nice that someone's came along and tried to like paint this like really janky looking mural onto it, but I think it just looks really good for what it is really. So there we go, there is our junior coaster in position, and I really love how it is turned out. I think it looks really good. So the next ride that we are going to be taking on is the Carousel. So I love this idea that the Carousel has got this quite large cover over it. The Carousel is absolutely beautiful. It's such a gorgeous looking ride, and I actually do love the simplicity of it. But I just think it's like Frontier's absolutely made such a good job of it. I feel quite bad covering it up, but also I needed to do something with it to kind of theme it a little bit better. So here I am here making a cover, and I've got this kind of technique that I use as well, which makes building these structures super fast. And you can see now that I've actually activated it. So once you build one section, it duplicates onto the other section. I will be putting out a tutorial about this, just how to build basically something like this, which is in less time than what you would expect it to. So I'm just putting in some glass pieces as well. The colouring of this gets absolutely swapped out as well. I kind of went for this blue and green. I don't know why. I was kind of thinking like Western kind of vibes, colours, but then it just didn't look right when I put it in. So yeah, I'm just duplicating this glass all the way around here, which shouldn't be this way. I shouldn't have done it manually. I could have easily had that same building way that duplicates it. As you can see here, it duplicates everything at the same time. And I just don't know if a lot of people know about how to do this. So yeah, there will be a tutorial out on the channel. I just actually need to make that said tutorial. So this will be the first thing that I'll show you guys how to make it, is the structure. And then we're just putting this in place, covering up the actual... Aha! There you go. The colour is getting changed. So we've got a bit of a brown roof now, and we're just going to be duplicating that over to the top part as well. It just makes this so much cleaner. You can like scale things down and move it, and honestly, without this tool, I think I would be at doing this for a whole entire day rather than how long it actually took me. And then we're just adding in some pretty lights now, just because I think it looks really, really cute. I really like them. And there we go. There is our carousel in place. and I just think it looks absolutely gorgeous. Such a nice ride. I feel like it's really underrated. Okay, so we're now moving on to our third ride. So this is the Tiny Eye. And with the Carousel, with the music of the Carousel, it's just so good. And Frontier do an absolutely fantastic job of the music in all their games. So I wanted that to reflect on this ride as well. And also the story of this park is that, we're trying to have a bit of a throwback to Planet Coaster 1 and the story that was in the Wild West theming from Planet Coaster 1. And then I thought, why don't we put kind of a ride which represents the music of Planet Coaster, and also that there's a piano, which you can see at the back there, has a picture of Ellie. And I love Ellie. I'm really quite sad that she's not. There she is, she's on the top of the piano. I really, really wish that we could have the old mascots brought back into Planet Coaster too, because it would just be absolutely fantastic to see them walking about. I feel like it's a really missed opportunity when they brought the packs back that they didn't include the mascots as well. But hey ho, it is what it is. We do have fantastic mascots in Planet Coaster too, but there's just something quite nice about having the originals in as well, because it's that like nostalgic feeling. But yeah, I don't think I'll start a petition for the mascot. I think I'll just accept it. So yeah, I'm just building the fence here. This is for the queue line here. I love this idea of there's like a piano that is just been painted onto the ground, and then we've got these music notes as well, which I just thought, it's too much. Let's just kind of tidy this up. It doesn't have to be that much. And then we're just putting in some nice hedges here just to keep it like quite basic and keep it quite simple, but actually looks really good. And then at the back as well, you would have seen me put in the kind of the bandstand, which has got Ellie's picture on it as well. And I just think it looks really good. I think the simplicity of this one actually comes together quite nicely. And then at the back here, I thought I would just put in a bit of a fence so you don't see all the rubbish that's kind of behind there. And then we're just continuing those music lines over. I did actually have a look at some songs to see if I could like take the music notes and then maybe like do an actual like doing, like the music of Planet Coaster, the sheet music of it, but I'm not smart enough for that. And I definitely would know which notes are what, so I just made it up as I went along. So yeah, we're just duplicating these kind of notes here. Doesn't actually make any kind of music or sense, and then we're just adding in some rocks as well, just to kind of like tie this whole section in together. And yeah, I've actually really enjoyed building this little tiny area. It's so compact, and it just feels like kind of like a forgotten area. But I just kind of love it at the same time. I kind of like the theming of it. It's a little bit random. You've got like the critters, the critter coaster, and then you've got like this music section, and then the carousel's just been like, hey, I'm also here. So yeah, here's our lovely cinematics of the Tiny Eye, which is looking absolutely fantastic. Love the way that this turned out. And now, for a little bit of an extra bonus, is I wanted there to be a face painting section. I'm hopeful that we will get like a little face paint install. So because we don't have one, I just thought I'd put in the Gelato Bros because it's like more tailored towards kids. I thought kids ice cream, that's absolutely perfect. So use your imagination and like pretend that this is like a little face painting hut that the kids can come and get like, their cheeks painted with like little critters and stuff. So I've put in some of these TV screens here, and we'll go in and we'll put some little images on there as well. Okay, so I thought I'd just go into first person mode. I have had a few requests if we can do a bit more of a tour, so hopefully you'll enjoy what we've got going on here. So yeah, this is what I have called Critter Cove, and we've got a lovely little sign there, and then we've got some CCTV cameras as well, just for a bit of security, even though it's turned off in this park. I've also put in a little sign here, so we've got the critter coaster, wait time is 15 minutes, and there is the coaster itself as it goes up and around. I'll take you up here just to give you a little bit of idea of all the little bits and bobs I put in. So the little queue this way. Again, people are not queuing because there's no queue line. And then the coaster itself is there. And then if I take you down this way, this building here is temporary. I don't know why that guest is just standing there very sunburnt. You will notice it is from my water park, so I just threw this in, changed the colour, because when we get update 6, what I want to have is when you come off of the roller coaster, you can then come in here and get your ride photo. So I will be putting a ride photo on the critter coaster when we do get that, so this will be all swapped out. Probably will redo the building, not entirely sure yet. But anyway, I'll take you down here. This is to go to our carousel and face painting area. So I'll start off with the face painting. So I've put in this little sign here so you can pick your own design. Just took this off of the images off of Google. It was the first one I see and I thought, okay, that's perfect. So yeah, you can pick your design between £5 to £7, depending on if you want like a full face design or if you just want like a little part. And then, as I say, gotta use your imagination in here a little bit. So this is Gelato Bros, but this would essentially be ripped out and you'd have like loads of face painting stuff that you could sit on the bench and get your face painted. And I just thought it was kind of a nice little thing. So in the summer they would have this, you know, always like fully decked out. Maybe the quieter months they would then just, you know, remove the table, remove all the signs, and then they could have something else. It'd also be quite nice if we could do like a little meet and greet as well. Again, you could, you know, when it's like busier, you could maybe have face painting in the morning. In the afternoon, you could have like a meet and greet, so it's like really changeable. And then over here we have got the critter carousel. You'll notice that all the signs are very similar. Was that on purpose? Kind of. It was definitely a design choice. It was also because I just couldn't be bothered making individual signs, so I just kind of like swapped it out, which, you know, makes it consistent, which is really cool. And yeah, we've got our carousel in there. I actually really love this carousel. I think it's really cool. And then over here we have got Ellie's jamboree, which Ellie is up at the top here. I don't know if I'll be able to take you to her. There she is. There's Miss Ellie. Total throwback to Planet Coaster 1. I would love, as I said, I would love if we could have like a little meet and greet section and we could have Ellie come out and like, you know, do a little thing. Yeah, so this is obviously inspired by Ellie and music, and that's exactly what that ride is as well. So yeah, I think it's obviously a very popular ride. I really love the flooring on here as well. I think that's really cool. And then we just got obviously some prop pieces as well. Oh, sorry, I'm in your way. But yeah, I just think it looks really, really cool. So that's the section here. Guests are not using my benches, but that's okay. It's currently at like quite a nice time of day as well, that it's not like super sunny back here, which is good. Also, I forgot to mention this, we do have toilets back here, little toilet sign there, because I thought if it's a kids area, the one thing kids are notorious for is at the very last minute they need to go to the bathroom. So that's why I threw in a toilet facility back here. And yeah, so this is the Critter Cove low area. As I say, very small, very compact, but I actually quite like the way that it's all turned out. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it if you have made it this far. And if you have not already, if you could drop a like on this video, it would be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys in the next video. So until then, take care.